meeting is being recorded.
What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Dustin on the show. As always, good to have you, Dustin.
Yeah, thanks for having me as always, bro. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we got Pablo back on the show. Pablo, good to have you as always, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's nice, man. Thank you guys.
Absolutely. This is going to be the Super Bowl, what is this, 57? Super Bowl 57 preview. Chiefs and Eagles should be a great game. Highly anticipated. Chiefs back in the big game for the third time in the last 4 years. Um, Pablo, what's your thoughts on Patrick Mahomes? I mean, he comes in to the organization and he's got them there for the third time in the last 4 years. You know, he's got the Chiefs contending for championships every year. Only one Super Bowl so far. Do you think this is a point where is this a kind of a must win for Mahomes to get that second championship and keep the ball rolling? Or do you think if the Chiefs get beat, then people are going to start talking about, just one championship and can he win the big game consistently? What do you think on that?
Yeah, I think people are already speaking about that way about the Chiefs before the AFC Championship game. Everyone was speaking about the Bengals. In that
Yeah,
regard, obviously, the Chiefs have gotten to five straight AFC Championship title games. They've been here, they've done it before, but obviously, just the one Super Bowl ring to show for it. Obviously, losing against Tom Brady in the 2018 AFC Championship game, and again 2019 FC Championship game, and then losing against the Tampa Bay Bucks in 2021 with Brady as well. That's obviously not ideal for the legacy that Mahomes wants with the Kansas City Chiefs. In terms of it being a must win, I agree. It is a must win for Patrick Mahomes, although I think the Eagles might just have a lot of firepower for them to handle. But I agree, it is a must win. Obviously, getting to five FC championship games, you need something to show for it. And obviously, that something needs to be a ring. We know of the great Buffalo Bills teams that basically got to the Super Bowl 4 seasons, I think 4 seasons in a row, and obviously didn't get a ring in those 4 seasons. The legacy history always remembers the winners, and it
yeah.
won't remember Patrick Mahomes getting to five AFC championship games or like getting to three Super Bowls in 4 years. He needs to get this ring for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dustin, he's going up against a nasty Eagles defense. A very good defense, a very good pass rush. And then they're great on the secondary as well with Bradbury and Darius Slay. Do you agree with Pablo? There's some pressure on Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Chiefs to win this game. You're on mute, by the way. There you
Oh,
go.
sorry about that.
No worries.
I think there is because of last year's loss. I think to Cincinnati was huge.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely have to rebound. I mean, this is Patrick Mahomes' prove it moment. If he wants to, you know, be considered the best quarterback in the game right now, I would say you go in, you beat, what is a top five defense, and you win your second championship. I mean, and I think he will. My opinion is Patrick Mahomes is just gonna play lights out football.
Yeah, and he's going to need to. He's going up against a great defense. And one of the cool storylines here is Andy Reid facing off against his former team, the Eagles. He's 3-0 against them. He had a lot of success in Philly as their head coach for a long time with Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick and those guys. Um, I think this. So I'm a big believer in defense wins championships, especially when you get to the Super Bowl. We've seen past meetings where the Broncos and Seahawks met up, and the Broncos had the greatest offense of all time, and here comes the Legion of Boom and just smacks them around. We saw that with the Bucks and the Chiefs a couple years ago. So this is a great test. Pablo, how do you think that matchup goes? Andy Reid against the Eagles defense. That's going to be a fun matchup.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun matchup. Dustin said top five. I think they're number 2 in the league. I think.
Yeah,
The Eagles basically played some of the best defense we've seen throughout the entire season. And just to mention, considering the Super Bowl last year with Aaron Donald making the game-winning play,
yep,
obviously I agree with you. Defense is key, especially when it comes to the Super Bowl. Although having a good quarterback helps, but a good quarterback can't do everything. The 49ers fumbled in 2020 last minute. Obviously, that massive play to Tyreek Hill obviously killed them and basically destroyed the momentum. But in terms of how Andy Reid plans out against these Eagles defense, it's going to be difficult. Although there's a lot of tape of how good this Eagles defense actually is, I'm not sure you can plan against them. They have a lot of good players. Gardner Johnson just joined the team. Obviously, their defensive line is incredible, and they have linebackers that can hit. So you're thinking you have to have a good running game, which Kansas City basically is not known for, and you have to make sure that your passing attack is as good as ever. So it's going to be a difficult ask, but if there's someone that can pull it off, it's going to be Andy Reid for sure.
yeah. I'm pretty impressed by the adjustments the Chiefs made. They lose Tyreek Hill, and they've gone to more of a quick passing game, getting the ball out. The passes to the running backs, quick passes to Kelsey, and spreading the ball around. I mean, Valdez Scantling was the player of the game in the AFC Championship game. Who would have thought that? Dustin, um, I mean, the Eagles D line is incredible, right? I mean, you're talking about they're loaded. They got 4 guys with 11 plus sacks. And then they've got guys like Robert Quinn, who had 18 and a half sacks last year, coming off the bench. And you got Ndamukong Suh coming off the bench. I mean, do you think that's going to be key? Mahomes getting rid of the ball quickly and negating this elite pass rush?
I do, and to be honest, that's kind of more like the Chiefs' offense. I mean, we've seen it, in the games where they run little out routes and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be the key. Like, get the ball out of his hands, screen passes. Use Kelsey as much as possible. I mean, Travis Kelsey to me is going to be a big factor eh, in this game.
Yeah. And, they got to figure out how to defend him, double team him, do whatever you have to do. Pablo, who do you think are the biggest X factors in this game? Who are you going to be keeping your eyes on?
Obviously, Jalen Hurts,
Yeah.
massive key factor. Obviously, Kelsey, like Dustin just mentioned, Kelsey is a big go-to target, especially for Mahomes in the postseason. I think these guys are probably the biggest quarterback titan tandem in the league. After I think they are the biggest. Obviously, you're talking Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, but those guys basically don't get this deep in the playoffs. I think Kelsey is massive on the Chiefs. If he has a 100 plus receiving yard game, I think it's going to be difficult for the Eagles. And obviously, you're looking at Jalen Hurts the other way. Obviously, his passing has basically deteriorated a little bit in the postseason in the 2 games that we've seen him play. But we also know he can use his legs. If you leave him with space to run, he can kill you with both his feet, and obviously he can kill with his arm as well. I think those 2 guys offensively. I think defensively, just the Eagles secondary. I think obviously the defensive line is that good, and the Chiefs offensive line has also come a long way. But I think that just the Eagles secondary, I think those guys will be massive. Like I mentioned previously, CJ Gardner Johnson is a massive ball hawk. Obviously, they have Darius Slay in that secondary as well. I think just defensively, that secondary should be basically what should be the Achilles heel for them, or should be basically the group that basically shines.
Yeah, I agree. Like when you match an elite pass rush with a great secondary, that's tough because you got to get the ball out quick, and then those secondary guys can jump routes. And we know Slay and Bradbury and Gardner Johnson are great at intercepting the ball and PBUs and all that. Dustin, how about the Eagles' run game? That's been so tough to stop all year long. It's not just Jalen Hurts at the quarterback position, but you've got Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell. and even Boston Scott has come on recently. How do you think the Chiefs defense is going to handle that run game?
Well, I mean, you're gonna have to be able to stop the run because the run always opens up for the passing
Yep.
offense. So if they are running the ball all game long, is going to be a problem. You know,
Yeah.
and my question for you guys though is, do you think Jalen Hurts is ready for this moment? I mean, is it too big for him? Because Mahomes has been there. That's why I'm not saying that about Patrick.
Well, that's why I'd be running the ball a lot. Get Jalen Hurts comfortable in the game. Run the ball, establish the run early, and then you can use that play action and run threat to open up Dallas Goedert underneath Devontae Smith. A couple of shot plays then to Devontae and AJ Brown, stuff like that. That's how you get Jalen Hurts comfortable. Maybe a big run with Jalen Hurts' legs would help. But yeah, that's the key is how Jalen Hurts performs. What do you think, Pablo?
Yeah, I think in terms of stopping the run, they're going to rely a lot on that interior defensive line. I think players like Chris Jones obviously need to step up. Chris Jones was absolutely horrible during the Super Bowl 54 game against the Tampa Bay Bucks. We saw him going into the locker room at halftime, basically throwing his helmet at how basically he didn't have an impact. And I think he just only had his first sack in the postseason against the Bengals, which
Yep.
is yeah, it basically we have not seen the production that he usually has in the regular season from him in the postseason. So they need him to stand up. He's that type of player that can actually have an impact on this game. And obviously linebackers like Nick Bolton, they have ballers in there, in that middle of the defense. They need those guys to help in the run because stopping the run is key for Philly. Basically, if they have a 100 and something plus yard rushing game, it's done. It's going to be basically 38-9 because you're not going to score many points with that defense. So you have to make sure that you stop the run, stop them from scoring. And I think the other thing, Jalen Hurts being ready for the moment. I think the biggest thing that I have with him is this is why I was 100% sure that he could be a franchise QB for them. I didn't think he'd play this well, but during the off season, I told Philly fans that he could be that type of player that actually performs really well, helps them to win a couple of division games, help them to win a couple of division titles. Um, I think just his mental is something else. Nick Sirianni has talked about this, and his teammates also speak about it. I think he is one of those players that have that killer mentality. I don't think any stage is big for him. He doesn't seem phased. Obviously, he doesn't have the coolness that comes with the players like with the legs of Joe Burrow, these players that are just like are born for that moment. But he is comfortable in this position, and I think 100% he should be ready. I don't think the big stage is going to phase him at all.
Yeah, and we've seen him, in big games plenty of times at Bama. Dustin and Jalen Hurts has proven it time and time again that he's not really going to be phased by it. He's going to step up to the moment. And so this is a key right here. So it's the Chiefs' number one passing offense against the Eagles' number one passing defense. Um, this has happened twice before in recent history. The Raiders and Bucks, and that blowout win by Tampa Bay and John Gruden, and then Broncos Seahawks. So the average margin of that is goes to the defense by like 31 points. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of pressure, Dustin, on Patrick Mahomes because the Chiefs' run game is almost non-existent. It's not really there. I mean, you can throw the ball, you can try to get Isaiah Pacheco and these guys involved, but Mahomes is going to have to be Superman, I think, to give the Chiefs a chance to win this. Do you agree with that? I mean, you're predicting him to be Superman, but I think that's going to be necessary.
I mean, I do to a certain point, but then again, give he has Andy Reid behind him, bro, and in the Super Bowl, man, give me Andy Reid. And
Yeah,
I think schematically, he's gonna draw up enough plays to have the Chiefs win this game. I mean, if Mahomes can go turnoverless and like you said with Jalen Hurts, run the ball off a play action or something if he has to, get that extra first down or something, the Chiefs can win this football game.
Yeah, and if he can get over towards the sidelines and then flop,
Mm-hmm.
then they can get an extra 15
And
yards. That would be beneficial.
the big thing is, man, you brought up the name, and I love this player a lot, Isaiah Pacheco.
Hmm.
That kid, man, give him the ball in space.
Yeah.
Give him screen passes, bubbles, little drop downs. You know,
Yeah, yeah, and obviously they have Ronald Jones in their veteran running back, a big running back as well, and they also have Jet McKinnon, who is one of the speediest running backs we have in the league, and
Yeah.
obviously can catch basically passes as well. I think they will rely a lot on Patrick Mahomes to be Superman. I think they have to. They have no choice. He is
Mhm.
basically their offense. I don't think Chad Henney will cut it here. I think the biggest thing is if Patrick Mahomes gets hurt early, I think it's that's their Super Bowl hopes done. And I think they have to make sure that the running game is decent. They just need to make sure it's not horrible. If it's so bad that they can't do anything, if they're running maybe 1 yard or 2 yards per rush, I think that's basically it. And if they can win with a decent running game, but they can't win with a poor running game for sure, 100%.
Do you guys know the situation at wide receiver for Kansas City? Do we know if Juju Smith-Schuster is playing? Also, McCole Hardman is questionable, and I think there's one other guy that's questionable. I'd have to look that up, but that's going to be
Let me
key too. I mean, if you're relying on Valdez Scantling as your only receiver and then Travis Kelsey, that's going to be tough against that secondary too. I'm going to look that up while we're here, but um, I just think, you know, I haven't my gut has been saying Eagles, but when we break it down like this, man, more and more I'm leaning Eagles. I really am. I think it's going to be so tough to stop that Philly run game. That's a big prove it game, I think, Dustin, for George Karlaftis. He's going to have to, and Frank Clark, they're going to have to get out there and make some stops. I don't know.
and to your point there, I like Steve Spagnuolo too. I mean, I think
Yeah.
he's gonna, if you stack the box eight in the box, bro. I mean, you can easily stop the run. If you can stop Philly's run game, you can win the football game. Like,
Yes. I mean, force Jalen Hurts to have to beat you with his arm. Yeah.
yeah,
But they do have, again, AJ Brown. AJ Brown's capable. We've seen it throughout the regular season. The two guys that you can't let go off are Travis Kelsey and AJ Brown. They're both capable of catching 2 to 3 touchdowns and 100+ yards and really being, game changers.
yeah,
yeah,
Go ahead.
and I
yeah, go
personally
on.
have not been. I haven't been much of a Patrick Mahomes supporter, but I mean, he had to sit back one whole year and just hear people talk about, him throwing that pick against the Bengals. And I feel like he's gonna come out and for revenge and show people that he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Well, so I understand completely the confidence in Mahomes. He's earned it. He's a great quarterback. But the coming out of that Bengals game, the AFC Championship game this year, do you have more confidence in Mahomes, or how do you guys feel he played in that game? Because damn near they almost lost that game. The Bengals had the ball with like a minute and a half left to go win it. With the game tied. I know Mahomes got that call. That was a nice run to get the first down, and then he got that call for 15 yards. That game easily could have gone to overtime. Dustin, are you more confident in Mahomes the way he's played in this playoffs, or are you going whole body of work? Because I don't think Mahomes. I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I'm going full body of work and the big time moment. Like I said, he's been there before, and he knows what it takes to win and play very well in that game. I mean, because I thought he played very well against the Niners when they
Yeah,
won.
that's the thing. He
So,
did. Well, and he kind of struggled in the first half, but he came through in the clutch. Everyone remembers that big throw to Tyreek Hill to pretty much win the game. Pablo, what do you think on that? I mean, the Bucks or the Chiefs desperately want to get that bad taste out of their mouth the last time they were in the Super Bowl getting blown out by Tampa.
Yeah, 100%. I think obviously I think the body of work you don't doubt Patrick Mahomes, but if you're looking at the Cincinnati Bengals games, the Bengals game, the AFC Championship game, obviously he didn't play really well. Yeah, damn near lost, obviously lost, almost lost the game, and obviously they relied on defense to make a play. They relied on basically everyone had to chip in. In terms of basically the receiver core, I think I think Nicole Hardman is not expected to play.
Yeah,
I don't think he practiced at all last week. Obviously, we'll have to see if there's any updates on that. I don't think he's expected to play. I think Juju Smith Schuster has a knee problem. He is doubtful, and obviously Kadarius Stoney, the speedy wide receiver they
yeah,
got from New
Tony.
York, yeah, he has a hamstring issue that he's dealing with, and also an ankle issue that he's dealing with. So there's question marks on the receiver core, and as well they need to make sure that they sort that out. It's not a good look, man. Like obviously your fans expect you to put a good game on Sunday, and you have players that are coming back from injuries. You have players that we're not sure if they'll play. It's not like I agree. I'm the more I think about this, the more I think of the Eagles. Actually, there have been literally no problems. AJ Brown is healthy. Devonta Smith is healthy. Dallas Goedert is healthy.
Yep.
Almost everyone is healthy on the Eagles. And you're looking at the Chiefs. Not everyone is healthy, especially on offense, and their defense is just average. So you not much hopes on the Chiefs right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're gonna tell me the Eagles' running game is hitting its stride and their defense is number 2 in the league, and the Chiefs have wide receiver issues, health issues, bro, Dustin, I hate to say it, but I'm all in on the Eagles. I was leaning Eagles, but this episode, man, I'm feeling the Eagles right now.
Well,
Tell me,
yeah.
yeah,
I
give us
mean,
your case.
I understand that, but I also look at like who's on that sideline, man. You have a genius over there, okay? You have
And
a
I'm not a
genius.
big fan of Sirianni. He has
And
if he wins a Super Bowl, he can prove it to me. But yeah,
Andy Reid, though, schematically, bro, I'm telling you, he's gonna find ways to be able to get that ball in the end zone and score. You
what
know,
do you think about maybe Andy Reid handing the play calling reins over to Matt Nagy for a game? How does that sound?
no, Chiefs will get blown out if that happens, but and then even on the defense side of the ball, I mean, Spagnola has to be what top 3 defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I mean, top 3, top 4. So you have 2 good coaches there that are both calling plays that are great, and I think that that's going to be a factor on top of Mahomes playing his ass off in the Super Bowl.
Look, if Mahomes balls
Yeah,
out and is the reason the Chiefs win, then everyone's gonna give Mahomes his flowers. Ring number 2,
yeah,
beat a nasty Eagles team. That's
yeah,
gonna be his moment. This is his opportunity to really prove that he's the dude. But again, if
yeah.
he loses, there's gonna be doubters. Go ahead,
Can I
Pablo.
make
Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Dustin?
can I make one bold prediction?
All right, go for it.
Mahomes goes for 275, 3
All right.
touchdowns, and Travis Kelsey is gonna have over 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns.
All right, but I got a follow up. How many turnovers for Mahomes? Because he's getting
0.
at least one. No.
Nope, nope. He's gonna
Uh,
have 0 turnovers.
Darius Slay interception. I'm calling that one. Darius Slay. All
Yeah,
right, go
there's
ahead,
going to be
Pablo.
at least one. There's going to be at least one Mahomes fumble, man. You guys count on it.
Well, yeah, like Hassan Reddick
Yeah,
hit strip
yeah.
sack. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think obviously the coaching situation, Andy Reid is a genius, but Nick Sirianni has also proved that he has that genius in him as well. We know obviously that offensive coordinator, his name is just miss his
Shane
name.
Steichen.
But Nick Sirianni, yeah, go on.
Shane Steichen.
Yeah, Steichen as well. Yeah, I know Steichen is the offensive coordinator, but Nick Sirianni also handles the play calling. So there's also that element of genius in him. And obviously, we have two offensive minded coaches, and that's always beautiful when you have two offensive minded coaches going up against each other. But for me, I think the big talking point here should be who should who should basically which Kelsey brother do you guys want to win, man? Because I'm more of a big brother. I like Jason Kelsey here, and obviously Travis Kelsey is a monster. But I think I'm favoring Jason here. What do you guys think?
Travis is an amazing tight end. He's one of the best we've ever
Yeah.
seen, but he annoys the hell out of me. I'm team Jason Kelsey all day.
Yeah,
What do you
Dustin.
think, Dustin? Are you Travis or Jason?
Man, Jason Kelsey is a great player, but give me Travis. I mean, Travis is a straight dog.
Yeah, I mean, he's tight ends we've ever seen. So absolutely.
Yeah, do you guys think there's a chance they could go into the Hall of Fame together? Because we're thinking first ballot of Hall of Fame for both these guys. One of the, I think, top two best centers, top two best tight end in the league. Do you think that there's a chance they go into the Hall of Fame together?
At the same
Same
time or
year?
both?
Yeah, same year.
Maybe. Jason's older, right?
Yeah.
I think Travis has a few years left in him. We'll see on Jason. That's a tough one. What do you think,
Okay.
Dustin?
I mean, it could be possible, but you know,
Who's
I think
who's
it's gonna
our
take a little
Super
bit.
Bowl MVP's prediction? This is gonna be a good one, Dustin. I think you're leaning Patrick Mahomes, right?
Absolutely, I'm gonna go with Patrick Mahomes.
All right, Pablo. Who's your Super Bowl MVP prediction?
Yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes wins regular season MVP on Saturday night, and I
Okay.
think Jalen Hurts win Super Bowl MVP on Sunday night.
Wow,
Ooh,
and that would be huge for Jalen Hurts' career. I don't. I mean, it's a quarterback award, right? I think you got to go
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts. Um, yeah,
Or somebody like Brandon Graham if he has something like 3 sacks.
man.
Like
I'm
you
telling
never
you
know.
what. I am a big so he used to be a Lion, and I used to hate on him, but over the years, Darius Slay has really become a big fan of him. I would love to see a defensive player win it. Give me Darius Slay with like 2 picks and a pick six. How about that?
Jeez. Jeez. Yeah,
Dustin's like,
I think that's good news for Philly fans all day, all day. Like a pick six in the Super Bowl, 2 picks against Mahomes. That's crazy.
yeah,
who
we'll
was the
see. I
last?
mean, what's that?
Who was the last one to win defensive? Or I mean, MVP being a defensive player in the Super Bowl. That was Von Miller, right?
Has to be Von Miller, I think so.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think, yeah. Did a
Yeah,
Cowboys? Did
2017,
that?
27.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Pats Falcons game has to be Brady,
Hmm.
and I think the Philly game has to be Nick Foles. The 2019 game, um,
Can you believe they
has
built
to be.
Nick Foles a statue after that? There's a Nick Foles statue in Philly somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he obviously that one play in the Super Bowl, the Philly special. I think
Yep.
just for that you deserve a statue, 100%. That was amazing.
Philly special is accurate because that's the only place Nick Foles was special. Was in Philly.
Yeah, I think he was okay. He was okay in Chicago. I think
No, he
we
wasn't.
know
He
that.
was terrible in Chicago.
Chicago
Yeah, I
don't know
think.
what a good quarterback is.
Yeah, I think Miller was the last defensive player to win Super Bowl MVP. Brady won it in 2017, Nick Foles 2018, and then you have Julian Edelman in 2019, Patrick Mahomes in 2020, Brady again in 2021, and then Cooper Cup. So
Wow, I didn't know Edelman.
yeah,
I just
Edelman in
assumed Brady.
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Score prediction. What's your I'm gonna go Eagles. I think it's gonna be high scoring. Eagles 37, Chiefs 31.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Shootout, unless the Eagles defense dominates. But I think even if the Eagles defense dominates, I don't see Mahomes only putting up 9 points like he did against Tampa Bay. I think the Chiefs are
Yeah.
going to find a way to score. I expect Juju or Hardman or one or two of these guys to play. Tony, I know they're hurt, but man, it's the Super Bowl. Everybody's hurt. Like, play. And the Chiefs are going to need them. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Dustin.
I'm gonna go with okay. You guys are gonna call me crazy on this, right?
You're crazy.
38, 38, 27, 38-27, Kansas City.
All right.
Yeah. You guys all went for high scoring games. 38-27 KC. Yeah, that's crazy. And obviously
Mhm.
37-31 Eagles. That's also crazy, man. This guys, it's going to be dominated by defense. I'm going for a low scoring game. I think 23-17 to the Eagles should be
Whoa.
fair here. Yeah, I
I would
think the
love to see
Eagles.
that.
Yeah, I think the Eagles will not score a lot of points, and because I just think they have scored a lot of points previously. Obviously, the Giants game was an anomaly, and I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a game that's going to bring them down to earth a little bit of how just basically the big platform that the Super Bowl is. 23-17, KC should get the offense going, but like slowly. So 23-17 Eagles.
Yeah, I think we lost Dustin there, but it's all good. Yeah, I mean, so I think that I like that. I mean, how do you beat Mahomes? How do you beat a great quarterback? You keep him off the field. So the Eagles should be able to use their run game to take, have long drives, take time off the clock, and then rest their defense, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's a chance the Eagles kind of have like that explosive run game a little bit, like big play run game.
Hmm.
And I just think the Chiefs are going to struggle to stop that run. I love Sanders, Gainwell, and now you got Boston Scott stepping up, and then Hurts off of that. I think the Eagles are going to run game is going to be really tough to stop.
Yeah, I think also well obviously the two number one wide receivers obviously AJ Brown said that he is wide receiver 1A and Devonta Smith is wide receiver 1B. I think we're
Yeah.
focusing a lot on that and obviously we're not paying attention to who is actually the tight end that's basically moving the
Oh
sticks.
yeah.
Dallas Goddard is a monster and I think
Yep.
obviously he can run the ball out of the backfield if Nick Sirianni wants to call that and he also can catch balls and he is basically faster than most linebackers. So also expect him to chip in.
Yeah. I mean, Dustin, Travis Kelsey gets all the praise, all the national media hype. George Kittle, Mark Andrews is a very good tight end, but Dallas Goddard is not far off, and he could play a factor in this game too. I mean, he's very capable, especially in the red zone, of catching 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely, and I like his play style, man. He's reliable. He's
Mhm.
big body. You go up and give him the ball. And I think he plays well. Actually, I got him with some big plays
Mhm.
on some
I
big
think
third down
yeah,
in this
I think
game.
tell me, Dustin, what would you do if you're the Chiefs defense? What do you focus on? Do you focus on taking AJ Brown out of the game, or are you more concerned with that run game? Because how do you beat Mahomes? You keep him off the field. You have long sustained drives. You rest your defense. I think that run game for Philly is going to be key.
Absolutely, it's going to come down to that. I mean, how has Philly beat everybody this year? RPO,
Yep.
running with Jalen Hurts and running out of the backfield. I mean, Jalen Hurts can throw the ball, but if you want an inexperienced guy in the Super Bowl with with the weight on his shoulders, you want him to throw the football.
Yep.
That
So
run
Yeah,
game
also
is
yeah, also
good.
play action, man. You also have play action as a factor, and obviously they can use that whenever. And obviously, if you focus a lot on the run game, you also have AJ Brown beating you
yeah.
over the top. So it's going to be a tough ask, man. Obviously, Dustin mentioned about obviously Steve Spagnuolo and the fact that he's actually a good defensive coordinator. He's going to have his hands full. Obviously, I think top three, top two offenses in the league this season. This is going to be a tough one for that defense, and they need to step up. They have to if they're going to have a chance.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. This game's gonna be awesome. I've been picking against the Eagles almost all season, but now go Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
I
Yeah,
actually
funny
want
thing is, yeah, go
What's
on.
that?
I actually want to take back my prediction way before the season started. I thought the Eagles were going to be bottom of the NFC. That was my early prediction, but I was wrong.
Well, once they got AJ Brown, I picked him. I
Yeah.
remember last year, not this year, but last year. I think I had the Eagles going like 4-13. I thought they were gonna be really bad, and they really impressed me last year. And then once they got AJ Brown in that trade, it was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Like you put AJ Brown on any team in the NFL, and they become a lot more explosive.
Yeah, and do you guys know what the key is? The key has always been Jalen Hurts. Ever since he became the starter, that team is different, man. They have an identity. Nick Sirianni believes in the guy. He basically wants to keep him. We know for sure. Obviously, he's going to play his last rookie season in 2023. We think he's going to get a massive extension. And obviously, we have we've all seen his agent basically in the media and everything. Jalen Hurts is the key, man. Obviously, last season, that running game basically improved a lot ever since they got that quarterback that can use his legs. And they should keep him, obviously, with AJ Brown, with Devonta Smith. This could be, if they keep this going with Nick Sirianni, this could be a dynasty. And obviously, they have a chance for the first time in Eagles history to do that.
Yeah. Real quick. So I had this conversation on Twitter yesterday, and I want to get your opinion on it. Um, this guy said that uh Tom Brady has the most rings, but it's widely considered that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback. I disagree with that strongly, and it's going to come down to this is a big game to prove it. Because what did Tom Brady always do? Stepped up and played his best in the biggest games. Not not always, but a large majority of the time. Um, how if Patrick Mahomes wins and gets that second ring, then what? Are we talking about Mahomes as a threat to become the GOAT potentially? On that pace, uh, you know, the best quarterback in the game right now, especially with Brady retiring. And then if he loses, then what are we saying? If Jalen Hurts takes Super Bowl MVP, a lot of narratives are going to come down to this game.
Yeah, I love that, man. NFL fans are amusing, man. If
Yeah,
one QB wins, basically is the GOAT. If he loses, is basically what the worst QB in the history of the league. I think Mahomes will always be in that conversation so long as the Chiefs are contending and so long as there's a chance for him.
yep,
And obviously he's 27 years old. We all know he's not going to play until he's 45 years old, so he needs to get those rings in. And obviously, it starts on Sunday, and obviously continues on Sunday. I think in terms of catching Brady, no one Brady is just the greatest quarterback of all time. Mahomes is flashy. Mahomes is flamboyant.
yeah.
He has that flair with him. That's why people say he is the best, but he isn't, man. Brady has been there. He has done all that. 23 seasons in the league, and basically people have other QBs in the same conversation as him. It's crazy, man.
That's my thing. Is sports is simple to me. It's results based and banners, hang banners. That's all that matters. And Brady's got 7. And you had a good point, Pablo. It's about, I say this all the time when I'm debating LeBron and everything like that. I say it's about what you do in your championship window. Win as much as possible, stack those rings, and that's your best way to improve your legacy. Do you agree with that, Dustin? A prime opportunity for both Mahomes and Hurts, because we all know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. And the Chiefs, that's why you pay Patrick Mahomes damn near 500 million, is because he's got you a contender, almost every year, and there's an opportunity for Hurts to get his first. How do you see it, Dustin?
Absolutely, man. To me, I think this is bigger for Patrick Mahomes than it is
Yes.
Jalen Hurts. With the fact that Pablo thinks that they're going to be a dynasty, so they have more opportunities, I think. But this is Mahomes to shut up all the critics that he
Yeah.
has currently right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was easy to get fired up when the Bengals are talking about Burrowhead, and you got a home conference championship game. You're excited, you're pumped up, you feel disrespected. Now you're in the Super Bowl, you're expected to win. How do you deliver? And
Yeah.
can you stop Philly?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
hey.
What's up?
By the way, Alex, I like how you didn't ask me about the GOAT situation because you know where I stand at.
Yeah, and it's wrong.
Yeah,
It's
it's
dead
wrong. It's flawed.
Oh,
It's
baby, all day
flawed. It's no,
long.
Aaron Rodgers is not the GOAT, man.
I
Hey,
asked Dustin this the other day. I said, were there years where the Packers had plenty of talent and didn't
Yeah.
quite and his Super Bowl expectations and didn't
Yeah.
quite get it done?
Yeah.
And Dustin, you'll agree with me. One championship's not enough for Aaron Rodgers. That's why he wants to go play for the Raiders or the Niners this next season. He needs one more.
it's not, but let me reiterate this.
Explain yourself.
Brady is the most accomplished. Rodgers is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen play.
All right, but accomplishments matter most, right?
Yeah. Legacy, yeah, your legacy, like most people will not. Only the people that watched you play will say you're the best talent, you're the best quarterback they've ever seen. But people who will be born after you're done playing will say you are the best because they know the rings that you've won. They know the number of championship games you've been to. But let me just say one thing here before we wrap this up. I think this is a massive Super Bowl for everyone, and I think this is massive because this is for the first time in NFL history we are seeing two black quarterbacks play
Yes.
against each other in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Like this is unprecedented. This has never happened, and obviously with only three QBs winning the Super Bowl, obviously we're 100% guaranteed a black QB winning the Super Bowl. It's just a matter of is it going to be Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts? And honestly, it's everyone is should be excited for this. It's amazing, man, to think that we've come from a situation where the black QB was not wanted in the league to
Yep.
basically black QBs playing in the Super Bowl. It's just
Running the
crazy to me.
league. Yep. Do
Yeah,
you think we've seen a changing of the guard at the quarterback position over time?
I think we. I think we're seeing a changing of the guard basically in the NFL as well. We're seeing black executives, which was almost unprecedented. You're seeing someone like Ron Carson getting the job in Tennessee.
Yep.
Um,
Ryan
that
Poles in
wasn't common.
Chicago. Yep. Stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, that wasn't common back in the day. So we're seeing a lot of change and a lot of like basically black people getting opportunities. It's a new era in the NFL, man, and it's just like anything can happen for sure.
On top of that, let me add to that. I am pumped and excited to see Brian Flores get that DC job in Minnesota. Like as a Bears
Yeah,
fan,
that
I'm not, but as an NFL fan, I definitely am. He's a hell of a defensive coordinator, and the Vikings are going to be tough to beat. Adding him.
yeah, 100%.
Am I
I
the only
remember
one?
what. What's that?
Am I the only one excited for Rihanna's halftime show?
I look. I say this every year. If I wanted to watch a concert, I'd go to one. I'm here to watch football. I don't give it.
Yeah,
I'm not watching that halftime show.
yeah. The last halftime show that I enjoyed was the weekend one in Tampa Bay.
The last one
I
I
didn't enjoy.
enjoyed was
Yeah,
Janet
yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah. Basically, I'm not a big fan of. I used to be a big fan of music. I'm not anymore. I love sports, man. Like let's play the game.
Yeah. Yep. I remember the first time two black head coaches, Tony Dungy against Lovey Smith, and that was really cool. And I wish
Yeah,
Lovey had come out with the win, but still a great Super Bowl. Devin Hester
yeah,
taking that opening kickback, and
yeah.
Peyton Manning getting his first Super Bowl ever. Dustin doesn't remember that one, but we'll move on from that. But yeah, I mean, whoever wins this one, It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait. Thanks for coming on, guys, man. It's always great content when we get us three together. Pablo, thanks for always coming on and being available.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, man. This has been fun.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dustin. Good stuff as always. Thanks to our supporters. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Tell Dustin where he's wrong. And have a great week, guys. Peace out.